All right, good afternoon. My name is Brent Gary. I'm the mayor and CEO of the city of West Richland. And today it's with heavy hearts that we're gathered to address the tragic incident that occurred yesterday at Wiley Elementary School in West Richland. I would like to introduce West Richland Police Chief Thomas Grego. Also joined with me today is Dr. Shelley Redinger, Superintendent of the Richland School District. We have Eric Huizar of the Benton County Prosecuting Office Attorney. We have Lieutenant Wilson from the Washington State Patrol. We also have the FBI Supervisory Senior Resident Agent, Peter Orth, with us this afternoon. I'll give you a little format of today's press conference. We're going to go ahead and start with Chief Grego. We'll go to Eric Huizar, and then Superintendent Dr. Shelley Redinger. And then we will bring Eric Huizar back to the podium to field questions and direct them appropriately. So with that, Chief Grego.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm sorry to report the tragedy that unfolded in our West Richland community yesterday. I'd like to begin by extending my thoughts and prayers to the victims and families and friends, and to report that the West Richland Police Department is utilizing every available resource to locate the suspect, Elias Huizar. Yesterday, April 22nd, 2024, at approximately 3:23 p.m., the West Richland Police Department responded to a shooting on the grounds of Wiley Elementary School in West Richland. One adult female was pronounced deceased at the scene outside of the school. The victim of the shooting was a 31-year-old Amber M. Rodriguez, who was the suspect's ex-wife. Later in the evening, while serving a search warrant at a nearby residence of the suspect, the West Richland Police Department detectives and our partner agencies discovered a second crime scene. A second homicide victim was found inside the residence. No information about the second victim's identity is being released at this time, as it is still an active investigation. At approximately 9:45 p.m., the Washington State Patrol, on behalf of the West Richland Police Department, issued an Amber Alert for a 1-year-old Roman Santos and a silver 2009 Toyota Corolla. It is believed that the 1-year-old was kidnapped by the suspect. The Amber Alert was extended from Washington to Oregon, as well as additional locations on the West Coast. We are making progress in locating the suspect and will continue our efforts until he is located. The West Richland Police Department would like to thank our regional partnership, including the Kennewick Police Department, the Richland Police Department, Pasco Police Department, Prosser Police Department, the Benton County Sheriff's Department, the Franklin County Sheriff's Department, Washington State Patrol, Benton Fire District 4, Benton Fire District 1, the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, Fish and Wildlife, and others for their work on this case. We are grateful for their assistance. I'd like to give the public every assurance that the West Richland Police Department will continue to prioritize this matter with all of our available resources for the benefit of our crime victims, those affected by this tragedy, and our community at large. At this time, I'd like to ask Eric Huizar to come forward, the Benton County Prosecutor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Grego. My name is Eric Huizar. I am the Benton County Prosecuting Attorney. Last night, a nationwide arrest warrant was issued for Elias Huizar. Mr. Huizar is charged by criminal information with first-degree premeditated murder of his ex-wife, Amber Rodriguez. The charge of murder includes an aggravated circumstance allegation of domestic violence and a firearm enhancement. At the time of the murder, Mr. Huizar was out on conditions of release on 2 pending felony matters for rape of a child in the 3rd degree and rape in the 2nd degree. The total bail on those 2 matters was $250,000. It is important for the public to understand that this matter is still under active law enforcement investigation, and local, state, and federal law enforcement agents are working diligently to address this matter. The Benton County Prosecutor's Office is working with our community partners to provide resources to those who have been affected within our community. And I anticipate that as this investigation continues, that additional criminal charges will likely be filed in this matter. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Dr. Redinger now.
There are no words to express how deeply saddened we are by the targeted domestic violence incidents that took place yesterday at William Wiley Elementary, as well as in the surrounding neighborhood, that resulted in the death of one of our staff members and another individual. This is a tragedy no community should have to experience. We want to start by acknowledging the bravery we saw yesterday. Our students, staff members, and families showed an incredible amount of courage and strength when faced with immense fear and grief. We want to thank our local, state, and federal law enforcement for the incredible job they have done protecting our community. We are grateful to all of our community partners and community members who stepped in to help yesterday as well as today and plan to help us tomorrow. We'd like to say a special thank you to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who provided a safe place for our Wiley families to reunite with their children. Please know that our schools are a safe place for your children to learn. We have highly trained administrators and school staff whose top priority is keeping your children safe. Lockdown drills are one of the ways that we ensure safety. We are grateful that we had the training and were able to utilize and follow procedures when rare incidents such as this occur. We have additional community resources for support that can be found on our Crisis Resources website at rsd.edu crisis resources.
Are there any questions? Mr. Probert.
What about Elias's 5-year-old son? Is he okay?
This matter is still under investigation, so unfortunately I'm unable to provide a lot of additional details or answer that question.
Any idea who was shot first, whether it was William Wiley shooting or the shooting in Highlands?
Again, we're still actively investigating the case. It's my understanding that search warrants are still being executed at this point. So in terms of creating a definitive timeline, that is still a work in progress, and we should know more in the near future.
Is the 1-year-old, that's his son, right? The 1-year-old he's with?
That is correct.
Okay. And it's his son with his girlfriend, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And why did you guys believe he said the Mexican?
In these types of situations, it's important to be careful when we are looking for the whereabouts of a suspect. And so this is, again, a very active investigation, and we are still working on identifying leads and following those leads. There are multiple law enforcement agencies that are involved in investigating this matter, and so there's a lot of effort being put into locating Mr. Huizar's whereabouts.
Why was yesterday's court appearance canceled?
I'm not familiar with that.
It was my understanding that he was meant to be in court yesterday following the cases that you had mentioned, and that when we were looking on Odyssey, it said
okay.
It had been not skipped, but I forget the word there, but stricken. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have specific information about that. I'm sure that's something that we could track down and find.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What kind of resources is your office providing the community right now, the prosecutor's office? Because we don't want to see something like this happen again, these domestic violence cases.
Absolutely. So my victim witness supervisor joined up with SARC and the chaplaincy to meet with staff from Wiley Elementary earlier this morning. And we are going to continue to work with Richland School District to provide resources and support for those who are affected by this matter.
And then can maybe somebody from the school district talk about some of the, like how did he get on campus in the first place, how that situation all kind of, I mean, he just came on, or?
So I can turn this over to Dr. Rettinger if you'd like to ask the district. Yeah.
So we just recently sent out a timeline to all of our families, and we'll be putting that out for all of the community to see the timeline of his employment with the Richland School District and other information regarding that. So during dismissal, we have staff out with students and parents. We have a lot of parents that come and pick up their students. He was behind a kind of a portable area and knew that she would be out there apparently, and then shot her there. Yes, and so quickly staff, it was definitely a targeted, and then we quickly got staff. Staff acted very quickly and got everybody back inside. Yes, and then we did a lockdown.
What time is dismissal?
Right around, like 3:15, 3:10-ish, 3:15. And it's dismissals at our elementary schools can take a while because we do have the walkers, the buses, but we have a lot of, fortunately, we always have, and I've been very proud of our staffs for this, a lot of staff outside during dismissals.
And what resources will be offered to students and staff doing this?
Yes, very good question. So the outreach from the community has been amazing, from all Kennewick, Pasco, Richland. We have therapy dogs. We had supports for all of our schools as well, and so we have flight teams that are made up of counselors, nurses, psychologists, and we had them active at all of our schools because we know this isn't just affecting Wiley, it's affecting our entire Richland School District family. So we do have resources. Today we opened up the district office and we had counselors from all across the entire region. We did have quite a few families and students come, and we did have therapy dogs there, and our entire Wiley staff met together and we debriefed, and I just can't say enough about the counseling support and ongoing support. The local mental health agencies are making room to make sure that they can help any Wiley students and families as a top priority.
Can you talk about the communication this morning? I was talking with a Richland mother who has a young child in elementary school, not at Wiley, but she was upset that she wasn't getting communications from the school on whether school was open or not open for other schools as well. Can you talk about that?
Sure, yes. So we do have a tool, Parent Square, that we utilize, and we went to this tool because it is very fast. Like when we want to send a text to all of our families or an email, it's immediate. Our old systems would take about 5 to 10 minutes. So that went out on Parent Square. And so the only school that was canceled was Wiley. We did have other schools that went into lockdown, and we made sure parents came and picked them up. It's always better to be to be really careful when you don't know for sure what it is going on, and so we took the utmost precautionary terms, and we made sure that we locked down other schools as well. So all of the information that we've been sending out internally to parents, now we're going to be sending that out to the whole community. So the whole community knows the steps that we've taken.
That's an app on your phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can somebody talk about, we're not dealing with a regular suspect. This is a former officer. He's trained. How worried are you guys?
As I said, multiple agencies are involved in this investigation, so significant resources are being put at this manhunt for Mr. Huizar. Obviously, we are concerned based on the recent events that occurred at Wiley Elementary yesterday, and as a result, we are making every effort to apprehend him as soon as possible.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So is there an SLA for the arrival of officers when a scene like this happens?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
An SLA, like a service of level of agreement as respond for a situation like this? My kids go to school there, and I have never seen a resource officer on site since years my kids been going to school. Is there any plan in place for future resource officers to be on site at Wiley Elementary in particular?
I think Dr. Redinger can speak to that.
So right now, what we have, and it's been, both police departments have had a hard time hiring police officers, so we do have a long-term plan in place as officers are available. So we do have a full-time SRO at Hanford and one at Richland. Those are Richland PD. And then we have 3 security guards in addition at both of those schools. We have full-time security guards at all of our middle schools. And then and then the SROs at Richland and Hanford also will come for calls and they, during the day, will go and look at their area that they have in terms of this Richland. West Richland, we have a partnership, which I'm very proud of, where we have a full-time SRO at both. He goes back and forth between Libby and Enterprise. And then we have a full-time security guard at Enterprise and a full-time security guard at Libby. All of them help out in terms of the elementaries. So they will go around and help out when we have situations. Yes.
I'd like to see more of a balance there because my kids have been going there for some time already, and it's definitely devastating not seeing so much officers on site. And I will want to say thank you guys all for your guys' support. I really enjoy living in this community. I continue to be in this community, and I really appreciate all your guys' hard work and effort. I know this is none of your guys' fault. However, I do want to pay my respects to your guys' authority and work ethics behind this process. I would like for my kids to be a little bit more safer. We do consider homeschooling because of this, but nonetheless, this is the reason why I'm here, just to sit here and listen to your guys' future changes.
Any other questions?
Yesterday, neighbors told us that there was a long history at the house. Can PD give us more info about that?
Obviously, I indicated that there are 2 pending charges regarding Mr. Huizar. Beyond that, I'm not able to provide any other details at this time, and don't have other information to provide at this moment. I think there was a hand in the back. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to know how Amanda became employed by Richland School District with the history that we have.
So the question was about the employment. So we did send out to all of our families a very lengthy timeline of the very beginning. And we did our due diligence. It's airtight, but I want to read one comment about this. All of his background checks came back positive. His reference checks were positive from another school district, and there were no red flags when he was hired. However, on February 14th, 2024, we received notice of Mr. Huizar's arrest, and learning of the allegations against him, we immediately removed him from being able to work or volunteer. At the time, his last day of substitute teaching for us was June 14th, 2023. So all this year he has not been employed with the school system. I do want to make one comment. We are extremely disheartened that information about his past was not disclosed to us through the various processes we have in place to vet RSD candidates for employment. It is the expectation for individuals who apply for employment with the Richland School District to be forthcoming and truthful in their applications. No past investigations or allegations appeared in Mr. Huizar's background checks before he was hired, and nothing was disclosed by Mr. Huizar. Sorry, I'm saying this wrong. We took the process of hiring staff very seriously and pride ourselves on the quality and character of our staff members.
Could you tell his actual hiring date and then his position title?
Yes. On November 19th, and this will be on for all the community to see. On November 19th, 2021, he started application process with the Richland School District for a substitute position. In January, the Richland School District received a reference from a neighboring school district where he was employed as a school resource officer. He was rated very good to excellent. In February, he completed his drug screen at Lord's Occupational Health. His fingerprints were taken at the Educational Service District and were used to run background checks with the Washington State Patrol and FBI. Both background checks came back clear, allowing him to proceed with the employment process at RSD. In February 2022, he completed the mandatory 8-hour sub-skills training course, passing with a score of 100%. February 7th, 2022, we initiated the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction Emergency Substitute Certification application, electronically signed and completed. The application asked background questions in the character and fitness part, including, have you ever resigned from or otherwise left any employment while allegations of misconduct were pending? And are you currently or have you ever been the subject of an investigation or inquiry by an employer because of allegations of misconduct? Both questions he answered no. He also signed an affidavit certifying all information included in the emergency substitute application was true and correct. February 8, 2022, the neighboring school district sent the Washington State Sexual Misconduct Disclosure Release to Richland School District. The neighboring district checked the box for no sexual misconduct materials found. This document was sent to RSD from that district's District Human Resources Department. He completed his new hire paperwork, including an I-9 form. A notification of reasonable assurance for employment was sent to him. February 9th, 2022, I guess I don't need to keep going. Is that enough? Do you want me to keep going?
Will there be school tomorrow?
Yes, there will be, we met and debriefed. Wiley families received an email shortly, a few minutes ago, and we will have school at Wiley tomorrow. That best practice is to go back to our routines, and that's where all of our resources will be at the school.
Like the crisis response team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, could you say the two victims, or the victims' names that you're able to say, and the suspect's name slowly with pronunciation, so that we can get that right?
So the one victim that we can disclose, who was found near Wiley Elementary, is Amber Marie Rodriguez, and the defendant in this matter is Elias, and I believe the last name is pronounced Huizar. I stand willing to be corrected if anybody wants to correct me on that. I believe it's Huizar. It's Huizar, and those are the only related names we can release at this time regarding the incident. I'm told by Mayor Gary we only have an opportunity for a few more questions. Mr. Potter. I'm sorry, Mr. Probert.
Just a question for Dr. Redinger. You might not have an answer to this, but I believe that I believe his initial crime was on February 2nd. I was wondering what happened between February 2nd and February 14th, and why was there some sort of breakdown in communication or something?
No, that's just what we were alerted.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And then I was wondering, when it comes to WRPD chief said that you guys are making progress. I was wondering, what can you tell us about that progress? What does that mean for people wondering? And then also, I know you can't say exactly where people are at, but where should maybe people be looking for the suspect? I know that there was the Toyota Corolla originally, but then I think I read this morning that it might have been a different car spotted in Portland. What should people be looking for?
So you may be aware that there was an Amber Alert that was last night. So at this point, we're simply asking that the public look for any information that relates to that Amber report that might lead to locating Mr. Huizar. This case is being, as I said, very actively investigated. What I mean by that is there are multiple agencies that are involved. There are search warrants that are being conducted, many efforts that are being undertaken at the same time by different personnel. And so this is an all-hands-on-deck situation. Every effort is being made to continue and conclude, hopefully, conclude shortly this investigation.
Is there any information, there was a little bit of a discrepancy, for example, on the Amber Alert saying that the child was last seen 2 days ago. Is that the case, or is that inaccurate?
So I don't have any other information about that at this time, so I just rely on the Amber report information. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have already touched on this, but for Ms. Rodriguez, who did she leave behind, and how is the community, how are you guys supporting any children or anything like that she has left?
So my office has a victim witness unit, and we have victim witness coordinators and assistants that work with crime victims. And so I would anticipate that our victim witness staff and the staff at the Support Advocacy Resource Center, or SARC, will likely work with the crime victims in this matter to provide them services. Obviously, there are a number of people that were affected in the community by this matter, and our office and others will be making every effort to help those folks. Any final questions? Yes, sir.
Bear with me here, in the middle of emotional journalist. Is there any plans to increase security at schools? Because I know for myself, I'd gladly put myself on the line with students. Because it's happening all across America.
Understood.
So we do have very good partnerships with our two police departments, Richland and West Richland, and they do a good job of patrolling the area. They have stepped that up. We are in conversations about adding additional resource officers through the region. We do have two, and they're not armed, but our principals are specially trained also to help in times of crisis and to be proactive. Always know who's in their building, make sure we're following our safety protocols by not propping doors open and having our single point of entry. So just know the partnership with the local law enforcement, they've really stepped it up, and we just have to make sure we're following our policies and procedures to keep our kids safe.
Are there any thoughts on getting people armed in schools? This guy was able to go in there and shoot a woman in cold blood and walk out.
Yeah, that is something that is more of a board policy, and at this time, you know, we're in conversations about how to up our security.
I have one
All right.
question real quick.
One and done.
Okay, this is it. Regarding the bail and him having two charges, can you explain the thought process about why bail was even set at all, for how serious these crimes were?
Yes, Mr. Huizar was charged with rape of a child in the 3rd degree and rape in the 2nd degree in February of this year, and the requested bail amount was $250,000. Between the two cases, that amount was set by the court, and that was based on, as provided in Criminal Rule 3.2, which provides the standards for bail settings. That was based on the nature of the allegations, the two allegations against Mr. Huizar, and the fact that there were two victims in the two matters, and his connection to the community and lack of criminal history. Thank you.
All right, I thank all the media for coming out this afternoon and all the participants in this room as well. So if we have any further information, you can look for further press releases, and as necessary, may reconvene another press conference at a later time. So thank you very much.